What's up, everybody? Jamie here with Strength by Jamie. I want to talk about on-the-go foods and nutrition. And this is such a hot topic because a lot of the people that I work with or people that I talk to are usually busy, they're usually parents, they're usually working full-time, and a lot of times, especially like this past summer, people are traveling, people are visiting different places, and in a lot of situations where they don't feel like they have a lot of control over their nutrition. And feeling like you're out of control when it comes to nutrition makes you feel like you're out of control when it comes to meeting your nutrition and fitness goals. And so I wanted to do this video in order to tell you that you do not need to feel out of control of your goals. Actually, on-the-go nutrition is totally controllable. Now, can you be as accurate and as consistent as you can be at home? Maybe not, but there's still a lot that you can control. And so I'm gonna walk you through my formula for being able to stay on track when you're on the go, as well as some examples of the elements that are in the formula, and then an ending point about eating out versus this other magical thing. So on-the-go nutrition, I am a nutrition coach. I am a personal trainer. Math was never my strong suit, but you remember the order of operations? This is how I kind of think about it. So this formula that I came up with is a generalized formula that all people should be applying to their life. But when it comes to on-the-go or travel nutrition, it actually doesn't change. We need to stick to the same exact formula. As a matter of fact, this formula can help you simplify the decision-making process when you're trying to choose food to eat when you're on the go. So the formula is protein plus, and then we have in parentheses because you have to do this operation first before you can add the total thing, right? Produce divided by fiber plus enjoyment. Okay, I rewrote this for you to make it a little bit more pretty to look at. So we've got protein plus produce divided by fiber plus enjoyment equals success. Stay with me. So the first thing we want to think about in choosing our meals is protein. And we're going to talk about that and give examples in a second. The next thing we want to think about, and this is always the case, is produce. However, we also want to be thinking about fiber. So that is why I say produce divided by fiber. It's not that every single produce option we choose has to be high in fiber, though it would be beneficial to think about fiber when we're thinking about our produce. Likewise, we might want to add something that has higher fiber if our produce isn't necessarily high fiber. For example, if we have protein being chicken and produce being a banana, banana has some fiber, but it's not the highest fiber choice. So we might want to add something in that has fiber, maybe a carb choice that will add to that meal, okay? So this is just the way that I think about it. Whether or not it makes mathematical sense is not what I'm looking for. So please don't come at me in the comments. If you relate to this, keep watching. All right, so we've got protein and produce divided by fiber plus enjoyment. Why is enjoyment in there? You gotta like what you're eating. If you don't like what you're eating, you're not going to achieve success. If you don't have enough protein, you're not going to achieve success. If you're not eating enough whole foods and fiber, you are not going to achieve success. If all of these elements are in place, you will feel successful no matter where you are or what pressures you're dealing with, okay? All right, so the very first one, protein. Protein examples. When I'm on the go, I prefer to have proteins that are whole foods, but also being shelf stable is semi-important depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing and how long I need to have the food with me. So I'm a huge fan of those tuna and salmon packs. Canned chicken would also fall under here. And at most grocery stores, you can even find them at Walmart, you can get pre-flavored tofu. Deli meat is a great option. And of course, Fairlife shakes. Obviously, this is not an extensive list. These are just some of my personal favorites. Now, as a nutrition coach and a personal trainer that travels all the time, having some go-tos that I can rely on without having to think too hard and know that I'm meeting my success formula is really, really important. So sure, there are lots of options out there. I'm giving you my favorites that work for me and have historically worked for my clients. So you can use them, you can ditch them, it's totally up to you. I'm gonna tell you how a lot of these options can work with some of these other options to make complete meals in a sec. So now that we have some good protein options, let's move on to produce divided by fiber. So I just put produce here because I want you to think of it more as produce with this sidebar emphasis in your mind of fiber, okay? So examples of produce that you could add that would also be relatively high in fiber would obviously be fruit. You can choose slightly higher fiber fruits like berries, apples, and pears, but any fruit will do. My absolute favorite thing in this category that goes really well with the things from the protein category are salad kits. So when I'm traveling, whether I'm going on an airplane or I'm going on a car trip or whatever it might be, I always make sure to grab a salad kit from the grocery store. You know, they have all those different flavors. So I'll just grab whatever I'm interested or craving at the time. I will also grab either some flavored tuna packs that seem to match the flavors in the salad kit, or I'll just go with the salmon. I mean, protein and omega-3s, like nutrition bomb, major win. And I will have those with me. So if I'm on an airplane or if I'm in the car, yes, I am that person that is opening up the salad kit, dumping in my fish and all the ingredients of the salad that it comes with into the bag, shake it up really, really well, and you've got salad in a bag. And this is probably the easiest meal that fits into this formula that you could have on you at all times. So something else that matches this category but isn't actually produce, it more so matches the fiber category, is high fiber tortillas. I love having these high fiber tortillas on me because they're 15 grams of fiber, so when I'm traveling, they really helps to regulate my digestion. I can add a tortilla with the breakfast buffet that the hotel is offering to make sure that I get some fiber. I can throw some of my salad inside of the tortilla to make a wrap. There's a lot of ways that you can use these, and they're relatively shelf stable, so I can just keep them in my suitcase for almost my whole trip. And another thing that works really well here, depending on your trip, is romaine lettuce. Now, why romaine if we've already got a salad kit? And again, it's gonna depend on your trip, but sometimes I love to get deli meat in different flavors and romaine lettuce and make little roll-ups or wraps, and you can get some cheese as well, and you've also got your high fiber tortillas, so you've got some options to make wraps here that you can use for meals or for snacks. Now, obviously, romaine lettuce isn't super shelf stable, neither is the salad kit. Again, it's gonna depend on where you're going and what you're doing, but there's this magical thing in existence, and I'm going to talk about it right here. That means that you don't necessarily always need to worry about it being shelf stable because this exists. All right, before I get to the magic at the end, I want to talk about some enjoyment examples. Now, when I'm thinking of things I enjoy, I'm thinking about snacks, okay? And when I'm picking things, when I'm on the go in particular, that I need to enjoy, I'm thinking about things that I can kind of stick my hand into, pop into my mouth, and just like really enjoy the flavor. Shocker, right? I'm also thinking about drinks, maybe caffeine, coffee, Diet Cokes, things like that. So I'll go ahead and put those here. And don't come at me, I'm neutral, whether it's Coke or Pepsi, but I do prefer Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi over Coke Zero. Okay, so when I'm on a road trip, specifically when my family is on a road trip, my husband and I always have some canned like nitro brews from Starbucks. They have like 70 to 80 calories for a can, so totally worth it. We'll even have some canned black coffee or even some iced coffee in some thermoses. And then we always have some Diet Cokes in a little cooler with ice so that we can crack those babies while we're driving. Helps keep us awake, keep us alert, keep us like having a good attitude with our children on very long car rides. And most importantly, it's part of this enjoyment part of the formula, and so these are always on hand. Another thing I'm thinking about, and I'm not gonna write this down, obviously cookies, Oreos, chips, things like that. My husband is a huge fan of making sure that he gets all of his favorite chips and cookies and things when we're going on road trips. My kids are huge fans of making sure that they hit the grocery store so that they can get some gummies for the airplane ride. Yes, those things have a space here, but they're not necessarily part of the formula. Just because they're not part of the formula does not mean you can't include them. But when I'm thinking enjoyment, I'm trying to loop these elements in. So I want to enjoy my protein, enjoy my produce, enjoy my fiber, but that little extra bit of enjoyment can come in the form of snacks, coffees, Diet Cokes, etc. If you're going to get some things that wouldn't typically be nutritious foods like cookies and chips and stuff like that, by all means, get them. But if we're talking about nutritional success, I'm gonna stick to this general formula. Again, eat the cookies, eat the Oreos, eat the chips, but I'm not gonna list them here, okay? What I'm gonna list are snacks that could feed the same purpose or that same kind of craving that we have for the cookies and the chips while fitting into this formula, okay? So obviously I've already got coffee and Diet Cokes, and these coffees are usually the lower cal versions. Actually, always they're the lower cal versions so that we can enjoy more of them, and the Diet Cokes. But we've also got popcorn. Now you can pop your own ahead of time, or I personally love the Skinny Pop White Cheddar. I know that I can have a decent amount and get that snacky feeling while not being too overboard in my calories, and also they have a decent amount of fiber, so win-win. Another one that I love is roasted edamame or roasted chickpeas. Roasted edamame in particular is super high in protein. I think a serving of roasted edamame has like 13 grams of protein and 7 to 10 grams of fiber, plus they're salty and you can just pop them in your mouth, and these are a great thing to just have on you at all times when you have that snacky craving but you want it to fit in this general formula. Also on the list is cheese sticks. I love cheese sticks. I am one of those people that absolutely loves the feel of peeling the cheese sticks. So I shouldn't say cheese sticks, I should say string cheese, because that's what I think of as a child. I love string cheese. I love peeling it. I love trying to make sure that it's evenly peeled, because you know how you start and it might be really thin, but then by the time you get to the end, it's really thick, or vice versa. Like, that drives me nuts, but then I can flip it and try to make it even, and it's just a whole activity. I love these because they're high in protein, obviously, so they fit the formula and they're fun to snack on. What I try to aim for when I'm choosing my string cheese is a light, low-fat version. That's because you're going to get close to 6 grams of protein for only 50 calories, because the fat is usually only 2.5 grams. It's totally fine to go for the full-fat regular string cheese, but if you look at the nutrition info, you'll notice that the protein and fat grams are likely more equal. You might be getting a 5 gram of protein cheese stick and you're also getting 5 grams of fat, so the calories are likely going to be a little higher, but we're talking 50 calories to like 70. So if you're on a fat loss journey and you're really focused on overall calories and you're looking to maximize with the food that you're eating, I would definitely go for the low fat, but it's not that serious. So slight preference for the low fat, especially if you want the higher protein, lower calories. Not that big of a deal if you get the regular. All right, I have 2 more things I'm gonna add to this category. One of them is fruit. So I just find that obviously fruit, you can get such a wide variety. You can get grapes, you can get blueberries, you can get cherries, you can get apples, bananas, pears. I mean, we could go on and on with the type of fruit that you could get and always feel like you have variety. So that definitely fits in this category as well for me. And then the obvious that I feel like everybody's probably already thinking is jerky. Now, I'm not personally a huge, this isn't normally in my bag, mainly because they tend to be kind of expensive, and I'm totally fine with these other items, and I don't really snack on jerky as much, but it's such a good one because they're shelf stable, mostly whole foods you can keep in your bag. And what I also love about jerky is there's different types. So of course you can get turkey and beef and chicken jerky, but you can also get seitan jerky. So that's a vegan jerky that's also relatively high in protein and can be very flavorful. It's a little harder to find, yes, but the point is all of this is totally doable on a vegan diet, on a vegetarian diet, or if you're just a normal person that recognizes that things like tofu and seitan can actually be delicious additions to your normal diet, even if you're a meat eater. Okay, so these are my favorite things to take, grab, have on hand when I'm traveling. The problem is some of these items don't work on an airplane, right? We're not gonna take Fairlife shakes through security. You might not wanna take romaine lettuce through security or on an airplane. Some of this makes sense, some of this might not jive, and that's totally fine, but I have a magical thing to tell you about, okay? When you have reached your destination, you can eat out, right? We like to go to restaurants, swing by fast food, get something to eat, right? But that's not your only option. Can you eat out? Absolutely. If you're going to eat out, this formula still applies. When you're looking at the menu, whether it's fast food or a restaurant, I want you to be thinking first, protein. Identify items on the menu that lead with protein. For example, if the meal is salmon, paired with mashed potatoes and seasonal vegetable, that is a meal that leads with protein. If the meal is a pasta dish that also has salmon and the seasonal vegetable, that's not a meal that leads with protein, and you're likely going to need to add protein. But lucky you, you've got tuna and salmon packs in your bag, so you could always dump them in when the meal arrives. But if embarrassment is not really what you're going for, then we're gonna want to look at items on the menu that lead with protein. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing. Produce divided by fiber. Seasonal vegetable, great, we've got the produce. Is it high in fiber? Does it really matter? I don't know. Do they have another option? Do they have Potatoes are decent in fiber. You could get some mashed potatoes to go with that. Whatever the carb source is also likely to have a little bit of fiber. So then we want to think about enjoyment, okay? If you have the option of getting the salmon that pairs, leading with protein that pairs with the produce and the fiber, etc., but you're not going to enjoy it, then you're not going to be successful, okay? So find another item on the menu that leads with protein, or go ahead and choose the pasta dish, but get creative with how you attack that meal. And that, my friend, is for another video. But if you don't want to eat out, because here's the thing, you don't have to. I feel like a lot of people think, I gotta eat out because I'm traveling, I'm on a work trip, I'm vacationing with my family, the only options we have are eating out. No, you know why? Magic. And here's the magic, are you ready? Grocery stores exist everywhere. I feel like I constantly need to remind people that grocery stores are one of your best resources for food. So no matter where you're going, you can find variations of these items. So if it's lunchtime and you guys are hungry, or maybe you're just hungry and nobody else is, swing by the grocery store. If you guys need snacks for the hotel room or on the road, or things that you can eat at your mother-in-law's house for lunch when everybody else is eating leftovers from the tacos the night before, grocery store. If you've just traveled to a new country and you just got off the plane and you out of customs and you are starving, guess what? Other countries also have grocery stores. Not to mention, if you are traveling in another country, going to the local grocery stores, no lie, is my family's favorite way to get to know the culture a little bit better. You can always find protein and produce at grocery stores, no matter what country you're in, but then you get a little bit more fun trying to find things that have fiber. Don't worry if you can't read the labels, like it's actually really hard to find things that have a lot of fiber, unless you already know what you're looking for, like fruit. But you can definitely find some things that you enjoy, or try some things, people watch, see the things that people are buying regularly, and it is such a cultural experience. So grocery stores, guys, if you're at work, actually, in a normal everyday life, and you didn't pack a lunch and everybody else is going to Pizza Hut, guess what you can do? You can go to the grocery store. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. On the Go Nutrition, don't overcomplicate it. In fact, overcomplicating it is gonna lead to overwhelm, and it's gonna lead to you not doing anything. But follow this formula, okay? Protein plus produce divided by fiber plus enjoyment is going to equal success. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, insightful, I don't know, funny, please comment below, like, subscribe, share, all the things. I don't really have this YouTube channel off the ground, but I would like to get it off the ground, and I need you to do that. So I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. See you next time. That was pretty good, right?